I have decided to bring back a cult classic, a fan favorite, everybody's favorite day of the week. According to the B community, Manifestation Monday is back. Hello, my loves, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Leeor Alexandra. Welcome to the B community. On this channel, we talk about the law of attraction, spirituality, personal development, and it's been a couple years for real. What I like to do on Monday once in a while, is share law of attraction and manifestation success stories. So that encompasses, of course, law of assumption, which is all the rage these days. And it's just kind of like manifestation materialization success stories. What I'll often do is I will share one story from the community and then one story from my personal life, from the lives of my loved ones, my friends, people that I help with, that I work with in person, and their success stories. So I went on Twitter and here on the YouTube community tab, and I asked for people to submit their success stories. And I got so many good ones, and reading them, I just got chills up and down my body. And I remembered how good it felt to me to make these videos because, you know, I listen to a lot of books and I read a lot of books. And something that always stood out to me in these books is when somebody went through something similar as I did and then persevered. And that really instilled a sense of hope in me, and I took that with me for the rest of the day. So that's what Manifestation Monday is supposed to be. Today I'm going to be sharing Heather's story of pulling herself back out from a dark place and finding love after she found self-love. And then I want to share a bit of my own love story as well. So hello, Leeor and or team. It's just me currently, guys. It's me answering the emails. It's all me doing all this. I hope you're having a divine day. I wanted to share with you my manifestation story as it's quite the journey and a total transformation. I'll start with a brief backstory so you get the full picture. So I read this already and the story is a little bit lengthy, but it's worth it because the chills that I got up and down my spine when I read it, I was just so happy for Heather. 3 years ago, I was living in an apartment in my hometown that I could barely afford, surrounded by people who did not share my passion for self-improvement, for spirituality, or healthy living. My hometown is one of those places where most people who are born there get sucked into the hole and never leave. In my mid-20s, I began to really explore the spaces in my mind that had been calling out to the spiritual world, learning about astrology, law of assumption, magic, and creating your own reality. I took a lot of time to really immerse myself in these teachings by reading books, talking to people in these communities, and of course watching YouTube videos. That's how I found you, and I'm so glad that you did. And while I learned a lot, I did what so many of us do. I got distracted by life and my human responsibilities, and I put my soul's desires on the back burner. Fast forward to 30, I had a horrific breakup with someone I cared for very deeply. After this breakup, I took a lot of time to do what I call a life review. I love this, you guys. I realized that everything that had led up to this point, the good, the bad, and the ugly, was all a result of the spaces I had been spending my energy and what I had been ruminating about. Even the breakup was a manifestation of my own thoughts and feelings. I mean, of course it was. That only makes sense, right? Right. But I needed this breakup to have this breakthrough. And that's what breakups usually do. They definitely give you a breakthrough. For me personally, I've always seen a breakup to come right before my transcendence, actually. Breakup with the wrong person, of course. And it was only after this massive heartbreak that I saw how much love I poured out to others, and all the while I was letting myself sit in a drought. I started to brainstorm on how I could give myself the love I had been craving and the love I had been sharing. I realized I needed to feel love from a wholesome place, so when I meet someone, I'll know if their love for me is truly wholesome or if it's a knockoff version of the real thing. But how was I to do this? How would I show myself the love I deserve? I started some much needed self-care practices, and I started to date myself instead of others. So where does this manifestation come into play? I'll tell you. 2 things I started to incorporate into my daily self-care routine that were the catalyst for total life transformation were 1, a daily gratitude list, once in the morning and once at night, and 2, a diary entry, but as if I was living the life I desired. Every morning I woke up, I would grab my 2 notebooks and a cup of coffee, and I would sit on my couch and write out a list of at least 5 things I was grateful for. I'll admit this was hard at first, and then I would script out my perfect day as a diary entry, writing out in great detail how things would taste, feel, smell, etc. Feel is very important, you guys. Feel is the most important, for sure. At night before bed with my cup of hot tea, I would grab those 2 notebooks and I would read to myself the list from the morning and then add in 5 things that I was grateful for that happened that day. And then I would read over the diary entry and play it out in my mind like a movie. Most of these diary entries included a love interest. I sometimes would get visions of a face during these little movies, but I had never seen this person before to my knowledge. So you know, sometimes when you're reading something that you're visualizing, something that you're manifesting, you'll get glimpses of what this person is. So I think that's what she's referring to. Regardless, this movie felt very real to me, and it was intoxicating and ever so divine. So let me mention something, you guys. Those emotions that Heather was cultivating right before bed, that is the portal of when the subconscious mind is open to receiving our instructions of what reality is. So giving the instructions through the written word backed up by emotion, that is the manifestation method. A few days after I started doing this, I was noticing the numbers 1 and 2 showing up everywhere in any combination of them, such as 12, 1221, 221, 112, and so on. I wasn't sure what it meant, but it always felt so magical whenever I would see them. I want to mention also my own experiences that 221 is a soulmate number. About 9 months after doing this, 9 months, this is very important also. I'll say why in a second. That's so funny. 9 months. About 9 months after doing this, I decided to take a solo road trip to do more soul searching. I was thinking of going back to Tennessee where I had been many years before and fell in love with the mountains. But at the last minute, I decided to go to visit my brother instead in North Carolina. She had a hunch, right? I booked the only hotel I could find near him, and after receiving the confirmation, I realized the address was at 1221 and my hotel room was 112. How bizarre, right? When I got to his town, I made a Facebook post to show I had arrived. About 5 minutes after that, I received a message from someone I had added a year or so ago, but never really talked to. We grew up in the same town and had about 100 of the same friends, but we never really chatted. It turns out that this guy, whose name is Johnny, had moved to North Carolina a few weeks ago and wanted to meet up the following day. I agreed to that as I had some extra free time. Johnny ended up living 5 hours from where I was staying to see my brother, but he drove the whole way just to meet me. When he showed up and we locked eyes, I felt the universe shift, literally. It was that 12-12 feeling. The face I had been seeing in my visions was his. I have chills again, you guys. This is why I chose this one. My whole body lit up in goosebumps and my brain went all staticky for a moment. I never felt more safe and comfortable, yet somehow renewed in my life. Did I mention the date we met was 11/12? I planned another trip up to North Carolina a few weeks later because I knew that with him was where I was supposed to be. It didn't feel right being back in my apartment so far from him. Everything I had been writing in those diary entries was coming true, from his eye color to his laugh and even the smell of his cologne. He was gentle in his nature and kind-mannered. He was indeed my 12-12. Oh, and the hotel room was again a repeat of the numbers 1 and 2. This time it was 211. I knew deep in my soul that I had manifested something magical, something divine, and something many people only ever dream of. Here we are 2 years later, and Johnny and I are married, and we bought a house together. And can you guess what the address is? Yep, 1212. Here's a picture of them. How cute are they? So I hope the story inspires the community to use gratitude and their wildest imagination to create something beautiful for themselves. So that's the case. It's what we can imagine creates our reality. That is the bottom line. The imagination is the portal to other worlds. So I'm so happy for you, Heather. Thank you for sharing that with the community. I love it so much. I just want to briefly mention my story. I don't want to go too deep into it because I want to keep these videos a little bit more brief than I used to. I had a very similar experience to Heather as I went through a really dark time before uniting with my soulmate. last September 2021. I've talked about it briefly. It's when that I made that video, Here Goes Nothing, and I was sharing there's the cutest two little birds pecking each other, kissing each other outside my window. In that video, I was sharing with you guys, I've been kind of going through a hard time, and I was in a dark place. I was waking up in the middle of the night and crying and just talking to God, and I was having, really dark thoughts back then, and I had to pull myself out of that place. I had to start taking care of myself, and I did. I turned my loneliness into like a mini retreat. I read the book In the Meantime. I forgot the author's name, and I highly recommend it if you're feeling like you're in the meantime, waiting for something to manifest. I'll link it down below for you if I remember. Remind me if I don't remember. I started to also date myself. I took myself to meditation classes, breathwork classes. I decided to go and get my yoga teacher training. I traveled by myself. I spent a lot of time just loving on myself. And then I moved on to, when I was ready, spending time with the people who made me feel good. Not all my friends at the time I was able to be with. There was a select few I was able to be around, and my family definitely helped me out of that time. But I really just decided I'm going to take care of myself, and I did, and I stepped up, and I chose to put my energy into my faith that in divine timing, everything's going to work out, and I'm going to have so much love in my life. And I already had it, right? So what I did to bring my attention back to the love in my life is I did a lot of ceremonies and a lot of rituals, and I did that on my own, but also as a community. And we got together and we manifested, and I wanted to manifest more love in my life. And at first it was in the form of a puppy, and then it was in the form of my soulmate, right? And what my method was cultivating divine energy through doing these ceremonies and these workshops, tuning into the present moment, loving on myself deeply, bringing my attention to where I already had love in my life, and writing letters from my future self to my past self, letting my past self, which was my present self at the time, know that everything turns out perfect, that everything works out. A few months ago, I went and reread those letters, and everything that I had wanted to happen came true. I shared some of those letters and more of that technique with my Love Mastery Program students in a couple of recent workshops that we did, which can be accessed through the course if you have it already. If you don't, I do want to share this program with you if you're ready to manifest love, if you've come to that point where I remember I came to this point where I was like, I've worked on myself. I've become very successful. I'm happy with my life. I'm in a really good place. I'm ready to share that with somebody who loves me. If you're feeling like you're in that spot, or if you're feeling like you need to get to that spot even to go on this journey of self-love, that's what this program is about. I want to invite you to this program. You're going to get weekly exercises and videos that are going to put you on track, not only to manifest your soulmate, but also to manifest and to cultivate self-love and falling in love with yourself and transcending. The program has hours of videos of exercises, meditations, affirmation MP3s, and tons of bonus workshops. I think we have like 5 bonus workshops there right now, which totals 20 hours of extra bonus content on top of the entire course. So it's a lot of stuff. You also get access to the private Facebook group. And of course, you're going to get invited to any upcoming workshops that are for the Love Mastery Program, and I do a few a year. And also, of course, any content that I add to the course, you're going to have access to that. Lifetime access to this course for a very reasonable fee. And in fact, for the first 20 people who want to take advantage of this, who feel really ready, I want to give you 50% off right now. So you can use that code down below, use the link down below. It'll be automatically applied for you. If you don't like it, 28-day money back guaranteed, no questions asked. I have such a low return rate, so I know you're going to love it. And if you don't, that's fine, doesn't matter. I wish you the absolute best, and I love you regardless. Now, before we part ways, I just want to take a moment. Let's just take a deep breath together. Settle in wherever you are. If you're ready to close your eyes, if you're in a place where you can close your eyes, if you're not, keep them open or maybe lower to the ground, and take a deep breath in through the nose. And slowly breathe out through the nose. Let's do this 2 more times. Take your breaths on your own while I play my ocean drum for you. Getting into a relaxed, receptive state. Imagining the waves. Washing up on the shore of a sandy beach. And as the waves recede, they take with them anything that you're ready to let go of today. Anything that's held you back. And they bring with them a renewed energy into your life, something fresh and new. Something beautiful, something powerful. Can you see what it is? Take another deep breath in. Set your intention for the rest of the day, or if you're watching this at night, set your intention for tomorrow. Slowly stir out of this relaxed state. Lastly, I want to ask you if you've manifested something beautiful recently to let me know in the comments below. Tell me something good. Give this video a thumbs up if you want more Manifestation Mondays, and I love you so much. Until next time, as always, keep your vibrations way up. I love you.